Hello guys and welcome. We've got some interesting news to talk about today. We've got the dev diary for riftraids. These notes are purely about raids, by the way. There's nothing else in it. But it's exciting. I will say I have one flagging concern. But for the most part, I do think it's pretty exciting and Disney Mirrorverse needs this. So let's just jump straight into it. Rift raids are expected to be a competitive, collaborative and rewarding game mode. At the moment, Alliance don't really do anything. We've just got Delve together and we've got Stellar. And to be honest, it's just a show of purchasing power, really. There's nothing to it. It's just spend money and get a higher rank. So we're finally going to be able to put alliances to use, which is great. What are Rift raids? So Rift raids is basically a new event-based game mode. You're going to be competing against other alliances, and the aim is to basically come out first, and I guess it's a bit of bragging rights if you do. It's a competitive game mode finally to Disney Mirrorverse, which I'm very excited for because I do think this game needs a competitive game mode. Everything is PvE, but this also brings an element of club v club, right? So it's something this game needs, in my opinion. So in order to unlock Rift Raids, you're going to need to complete Chapter 4, Encounter 10, and be in an alliance. So if you have been neglecting the story, now's your chance to go in and complete Chapter 4. And then we've got some steps here. So step 1, the Alliance Leader starts the event. So my understanding is it's only the Alliance Leader that can do this for now. So let's hope you're in an active club with an active Alliance Leader. And then we've got the raid itself, which basically lasts for 3 days during a 4-day period. Step 2, you're going to collect Rift supplies. So once the raid begins, you're going to collect these supplies, which is going to include Rift potions and Rift energy. So Rift energy is going to be this new type of energy. There's not going to be any crossover of energy that's already existing in the game, like in dungeons and just general. Rift raid potions are going to be slightly different to dungeon potions. Dungeon potions just heal up, but effectively, you're going to get a boost to a Guardian based on a specific trait. And that's going to last for one encounter in the Rift Raid. So I imagine it's just going to boost like an attribute. And, they're going to have stronger offense or stronger damage or something. So you'll need to pick wisely on who you'll put this on. The next bit is the bit that I'm not convinced on, not sold on. Because basically, this is how they've monetized the game mode. Once Rift supplies have been collected, an 8-hour timer starts until the player is able to collect more energy and Rift potions. As the Alliance progresses through higher Rift tiers, the amount of Rift energy and Rift potions they can claim will increase. And then this is the bit I really hope that they don't screw this up. But basically, for those who don't want to wait, you can skip the timer, which is available for orbs. So this is basically how they've monetized it. In my mind, it's going to be similar to Dungeon Bundles, except it's going to have a cap, and that cap is going to be based on whichever Rift tier you're in. I hope to God that the cap is small, because it's just going to be a competition of who can spend the most. If any of you guys follow me in my other game that I play, Disney Sorcerer's Arena, there is a game mode in there called Showdown, which was, in my mind, ruined by the monetization. You could effectively buy potions to have more matches, and that would directly impact how well you did, even if it was even if it's a competitive 1v1 game mode, because it'd be you against another player. It just meant the player that spent more on potions was able to do more battles and then finish in a higher rank. Now this is obviously alliance based, so this is going to depend on the players within your alliance spending orbs on refreshes. So in my mind, I hope to God that the cap is small, because if the cap isn't small, it's just going to be a whale fest. And I'm saying this as the person who is in probably the whaliest guild in the game, okay? I don't want to see that. I want to see a pure competition where we can fight each other, where we can fight other alliances and it not be down to purchasing power, because that's just going to ruin the game mode, really. It's like, there's no point in competitions you can buy, okay? Now, if the orb refreshes are minimal, it doesn't cost a lot. For example, you're spending on the cards for orbs, and it's going to cost whatever you spend daily on that. I mean, I could be okay with that, but it still kind of sucks, really, if you're free to play, because you're basically going to have to be waiting all the time here until you can go again. Whereas the spender is just going to be refreshing it and getting more turns. And yeah, as I say, it is an alliance game mode, so it's just bragging rights within your individual alliance. For example, there is a leaderboard which shows you how you've done compared to others in your alliance, but it means nothing in the grand scheme of things, just bragging rights. Everything is collaborative, everything is club based. So my understanding is all milestones are club based, which we'll get to, and overall ranking is based on the sum total of your contributions, okay? Anyway, this last part is just basically saying, be sure to use all your energy and potions, because they won't carry over to the next event. So I took my time over that, because that's the one bit I have which is my concern for this game mode. I really don't like the fact that they had to monetize it. Personally, I just felt that was I just felt that wasn't the right move. It never is the right move in these games. If you're doing raids or stuff like this, make it purely about strategy and gameplay. Don't add dollar signs to the game mode. You're just going to ruin it. So I hope the cap is small. I hope we don't have to refresh a lot, because I don't want to. It doesn't need to be a leaderboard where we're paying for places. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so defeat the fractured. Right, so once you enter the Rift Raid event, you'll see a Rift tier map like the one shown above, which I'll just scroll back up for. Okay, so we've got like a couple of islands, and then we've got some like mini islands on the outers, and then one big connecting island in the middle. But basically, there are 3 types of encounters, including Minion, Sentinel, and finally the Gatekeeper. The Gatekeeper looks awesome, by the way, who holds the key to unlock the next highest Rift tier. And as you work through the Rift tiers, you'll see on the map where your Alliance members are taking on or have completed encounters, and then you'll just have to coordinate with your Alliance to divide and conquer. So in order to get to the Gatekeeper, you'll have to work with your Alliance to defeat all the Sentinel encounters. Now, to take down the Sentinel, you're going to want to take down these islands first, the little ones, which are going to be populated with minions. So each Sentinel features a fractured boss, themed around a trait such as royalty, high tech, and more. And then the smaller floating islands connected to the Sentinels are minions. Now, you defeat these minions, you earn points, but you also reduce the difficulty of these Sentinels. So by defeating the little mini islands first, you're going to make it an easier battle against the Sentinel. And it says here that if they've got like the 3 minion islands attached, the health can be buffed by like 300%. So if you start fighting this Sentinel, without taking out these minions first, you're going to be giving yourself a much harder fight, okay? So there's definitely going to be some strategy involved in how you want to take out these minions and get to your Sentinel, then get to your Gatekeeper. And then Sentinels that have already been defeated by a member of the Alliance will appear as a gold portrait, which you're going to see here, in this picture below. And those yet to be defeated are going to be purple. And then this last bit is talking about how we need to strategize and make the most of your Rift energy in a time efficient way. Because remember, guys, you've got 3 days to complete this, so you want to be doing this as fast as possible. You want to be going up Rift tiers. I believe there's 30 Rift tiers to get through, and who knows if we'll get all the way there. They did make the game a lot easier. I'm sorry, people, in my last video, but it's true. Okay, so then we work together to defeat the Gatekeeper. So taking on the Gatekeeper is a task meant for teamwork. So the maximum you can take off the Gatekeeper per encounter is 10%. So you are limited by what damage you can do, So you're going to at least need your club mates to get involved, to work, to take this gatekeeper down. Okay, so moving on, what makes riftraids different? So maximize trait bonuses. So guardian slots in riftraid encounters sometimes have an incentive to bring guardians with certain traits. Slots may have a trait bonus, and bringing a guardian that has a trait will give them higher team power bonus, so they can take on even higher challenges. You know, they made the game a lot easier recently. So how much do we need to punch up? I don't know. This game mode's gonna need to be made pretty tough, okay? I'm out of things to do in the game. Riftraids is basically what I've got to look forward to. So they're gonna have to fine tune the power, definitely. And if it's really, really hard, then, you know, I've got stuff to work on. And as it says at the bottom here, it was strategizing team composition, having a diverse roster of guardians with different traits will be advantageous when maximizing bonuses. So it encourages you to have a big roster like we currently do. Hopefully we can't beat this thing by day one. This thing right here might also change tier lists. So if certain guardians have traits which are used throughout riftraids, it's going to make them suddenly a lot more desirable. Okay, now moving on to utilizing potions. So similar to trait bonuses, players can give their teams an edge by using these rift potions, which we talked about. Equip these potions upon your guardian's traits to increase their team power, damage, health, and overall effectiveness in combat. Now, each guardian can equip 5 potions per encounter, and there are 2 tiers of strength to them. So yeah, as I said before, you equip one of these potions, might increase your damage, and it might help you in battle. So you'll want to use these, and you'll want to basically use up your rift energy, your rift potions, before the rift raid is done, so you don't put anything to waste. And then lastly, we've got this take on the Titan-Born Gatekeeper. So we have an elemental, guys. We have a Titan-Born elemental giant, and players will now be taking on this Earthborn giant and working to take him down. So I've said a lot recently in my character reviews. Pretty much all of the characters that have recently come into the game are good against elementals. I mean, I have to say I saw this coming. It kind of made sense, really, that you're introducing characters like Anna, for example, who has specific stuff in her kit which works against elementals, so she might be great against the Gatekeeper here. Simba gains so much armor against elementals when he gets hit during his lure. I think a lot of the characters recently have been tailored towards riftraids, so yeah, get to farming your characters that work against elementals, I'll say that. Okay, and we're talking about leaderboards here. So completing each riftraid is going to give you points. The points will change depending on the encounter, such as Minion, Sentinel, Gatekeeper. The more points earned, the more you contribute to your alliance success. As I said, there's going to be like a mini internal alliance leaderboard, so you can measure how well you've done compared to your club mates. But then you've got rewards based on, the actual competition leaderboard, and also based on how far you can progress through the actual rift tiers. You'll get better rewards as well based on that. Now, this is the bit that's exciting. At the launch of riftraids, there's going to be 30 rift tiers for alliances to venture to. Each one is more challenging than the last, so it sort of reminds me of towers, right? So you've got towers that we've got 30 levels in towers, so they get harder as you progress, except you've got a full raid to get through instead of one mission. And only the strongest alliances with the most diverse and powerful guardians will make it to 30. I hope we don't get there. Generally speaking, I really don't want us to reach tier 30, and maybe I'm overstating how powerful guilds are in the game, but if some guilds can get to level 30, that would suck, right? Because you've made a game mode that isn't hard enough. And I hope, with the power changes in mind, that's been put into consideration. And then you got some rift raid ranking. You saw some placements. I'll scroll up again. You've got silver, diamond, platinum, you know. So we've got some different leaderboards here. So I think, like, for example, the whaley guilds will compete against each other, and the free-to-play guilds will compete against each other. So it won't be a competition where the free-to-play are kind of screwed by leaderboards. As an alliance plays more events and rift raids, they have the opportunity to move up in ranking. The further the alliance progresses for the rift tiers, so imagine, the further you get to like level 30, and their points relative to other alliances determines their division. Alliances are promoted and demoted through divisions at the end of each event, so they've definitely made it competitive, which this game needed. And then a promotion occurs when an alliance currently ranked number 1 in their division ends up getting the highest score. So a little bit like sports teams, getting promoted through divisions, and then demotion occurs basically if you come bottom. And you're encouraged to play, so like alliances don't participate. So if you've got a inactive leader who can't press a button, then get out and move to another club now. But yeah, they'll lose their rank and you won't get to play the game mode. Then we got like a little sneak peek into rewards. They're better than this. But yeah, working together with your alliance in rift raids will be one of the most rewarding things. So I'll benchmark dungeons here, because dungeon rewards are, generally speaking, like the milestone rewards are pretty good, but for raids, for something like this, such a massive game mode, I hope they're very, very good. So you're going to get both milestones and rank rewards. So milestones are going to be like motes and gems, and that'll be based on the alliance division, and your alliance works towards those milestones. So I don't think there's anything individual here, but you have to earn the minimum points required to claim milestones. So you can't just ride the coattails of your alliance members who are going to carry you through this. You all need to contribute, and if you don't, you're not going to get your rewards. I like this. This is good. And then rank rewards are distributed at the end of a rift event to participating alliances based upon their rank in comparison to other alliances. So this is just where you rank compared to your neighboring competitor alliance, right? And the rewards will include gold, various motes, and gems. I think everyone wants T4 gems, so they're the biggest crunch in the game when you get to end game. So yeah, that's a good incentive to want to do well in this event. Okay, and then we've got this last bit about how they've been working hard on this. I think they've put a lot of work into this. As I said, my big concern with the game mode is being able to spend orbs to refresh energy. As I said, I hope the cap's small. I really hope the cap is small. The cap is too large. It's just a money grab. That's all it is, like plain and simple. It's a money grab. You're paying for ranking, because I want this to be a genuine competition. But in general, I will say I'm very excited for this game mode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any questions about rift raids, just let me know. Hopefully I did a good enough job of explaining it. If I didn't, let me know in the comments. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.